Hi, in this video we'll be going over using 2D arrays to use an output list box to add items to it. We'll just do just a small example. So for example, we can have a loop here. So we can say for actually first here as a field, let's just instantiate an array. So let's just say int array index of array index comma. We'll just call it array. Points to new int array of array index. We can just say there's two for x and 2 for y. So in the for loop, we could just say, for example, for int row points to 0. We could say row is less than, actually we could just say for int I points to 0. I is less than 2. Or actually we can just say array. Okay, that's fine. We'll just okay, we can just create a constant in the fields first, so we'll just say constant int. We could just say rows points to 2, and then we can say constant int calls points to 2. Then here we can just pass the array. We can just instantiate a new array with rows and calls for x and y. Actually, sorry, just change the so just say private int array of array index array points to new int, and we'll pass in so int array of array index row comma calls. So here we can loop through the array. We can say for I points to 0, I is less than rows, and then rows row plus, sorry, I plus plus. So we'll have a nested for loop, and then on the inner for loop we can say for int call points to 0, and then call is less than sorry, we could just say j instead, so int j points to 0, j is less than calls, and then j plus plus. So we can instantiate, we can just pretend that we have a list box here, so we'll just say private list box. We'll just create an object reference variable. And here we could say list box points to new. We could actually, yes, sorry, instead of list, we'll just change this to list box. And here we can say list box points to new list box. We can say listbox.name points to listbox as a string. Then in the for loop we can say listbox.items.add, and we can just add in arrays, array of array index I comma j. Then at the end we can say .toString because we want to add the numbers as a string. So I think if you don't add a toString. It might output the elements, but just to be careful, since usually you want to add strings to a list box, you could just convert it to a string. Okay, so we'll just delete this, and then we'll use an initialization list to instantiate a 2D array. So we can say int array of array index comma vals points to an initialization list. So it'll be like a matrix. So we'll say 1, 2, we'll say 1, so let's pass in some values here, 1, 2, 3, 1 comma 2 comma 3. You can just do it like this, so 1 comma 2 comma 3 and then comma, and then we'll say 4, so we'll open another set of curly brackets and then 4 space 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma, and then another comma at the end, then another set of curly brackets, and then we'll say 7 comma 8 comma 9. Then a ending curly bracket 2. So we have to put like one block on the outside and then another block on the inside like that, with commas in the last one. Does the last one have a comma actually? I don't think the last one has a comma. I don't need a comma for the last value either. Whoops. So that should be fine. So I don't think you need a comma for the last index. So as with a 1D array, you can provide an initialization list for a 2D array. So recall that when you provide an initialization list for an array, you cannot provide the upper subscript numbers or index numbers. So when initializing a 2D array, you must provide the comma to indicate the number of dimensions. So the following is so we use a comma here to use the dimensions to indicate that it's a 2D array. So initialization values for each row are enclosed in their own set of braces. So in this example, the initialization values for row 0 are 1, 2, 3. The initialization values for row 1 are 4, 5, 6, and the initialization values for row 2 are 7, 8, 9. So the column is the same. So the column goes down from 1, 4, 7, then 2, 5, 8, and then 3, 6, 9. So we've already gone over how to set the indexes, but we can do that in the constructor. So we can say val of array index comma, so vals of array index 0 comma 0. We can set it to 1. Well, it already is set, so we can just comment this out. But basically it's exactly like this. It's just the same thing, except we have an extra row and column, so that makes it a 3 by 3 matrix versus a 2 by 2 matrix. Alright, so in the next video we'll be continuing doing a lab. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next video we'll be doing a lab to to demonstrate 2D arrays with a GUI. So I'll have to set up the form first. So I'll set up the form first, and then I'll come back, because that'll take a little bit. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.